Welcome to Fast Effect Doublespeed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Vault Games Discord server now, as we are playing over Discord, and you are welcome to join us as well. We've got people coming in from Texas, California, the East Coast. It is really cool to see the Legacy community coming together, playing for, in a competitive environment, playing for some prizes, but still having a fun, kind of casual feel to it. Jason on, I believe, Omnitel. We'll see if that ends up being correct. And Matt on Aluren. Matt experimenting with his layout this week a little bit. Jason's layout looking good. Fetching a basic forest. All right, for a Elvish Reclaimer. And no, Jason is not on Omnitel. He is going to be on 12 Post. A Urborg allowing a... I don't know what expedition, or that's a masterpiece that's not coming to mind. Could be the expedition map. I must have a different picture in my head. Matt's Gilded Goose, going to help him recover a little bit of that lost tempo. He had turn 1 Gilded Goose, and now replaying that land that had thwarted the Elvish Reclaimer. A Thespian stage now. And Jason threatening, if this is expedition map, to go grab a Dark Depths and have the win 2 turns from now. Vampire Hexmage. So next turn, Jason be able to grab a Dark Depths. Euro coming down. And I'm not entirely sure what Matt can hope for here outside of comboing off. I think he's going to need to make this work with Aluren. Otherwise, this 2020 going to be good enough. Now, there are some things he can do to buy some time. Like Icefang Coatl could be very, very good here, getting in the way of a Dark Depths. And then I suppose he could jam a Euro as a Oko as well and handle the 2020. But it's really going to be all about surviving. Force pitching Daze on this duress. And Vampire Hexmage turning sideways as Euro allowing Matt to gain life, stopping it from being a combo. And Gilded Goose can potentially do the same in terms of a one-hit combo. I mean, I suppose it's still a combo making a 20/20 for cheap, but the fact that your opponent starts with 20 life is really what makes that combo so exciting. If Merit Lage was a 19/19, it'd be a very different calculation. Aluren coming down. And Recruiter of the Guard, and this should do it. Recruiter, I'm a big fan of in this deck. Making Aluren a 2-card combo. Cavern Harpy coming down. And now Baron being cast from hand. And that is going to do it. So for those unfamiliar, Cavern Harpy would be able to bounce Baron. And then Baron would be able to come down, bounce a Recruiter of the Guard. Recruiter of the Guard would be able to go get the remaining combo pieces using that same loop to be able to effectively just bounce the Recruiters and eventually draw through the rest of the deck with Euro plus Cavern Harpy, netting life each iteration. And on top of that, you can get your Cavern Familiar. When you're done, Cavern Familiar will actually make it so every time you cast a Cavern Harpy, your opponent loses a life and you gain a life. The reason why you'd want to do that all first is because the deck does run counter magic, so you might as well draw your entire deck, have all your Force of Wills in hand, and just be able to stop anything your opponent might have. So once the deck starts going, you are not going to stop it if they play very carefully. Now, sometimes Aluren players will kind of shortcut things a little bit, but in general, if they play it as tight as possible, you will have no ability to interact. I mean, stuff like Swords to Plowshares is just really not going to matter, just because of how good playing all of your cheap creatures at instant speed is, bouncing them out of the way of any type of interaction you might have. So, like, let's say you get your Baron out and you want to Swords to Plowshares my Baron. I can respond with the Cavern Harpy and then bounce the Baron and then replay the Cavern Harpy and then play the Baron with the bounce on the stack, and just make it extremely difficult for you to have any way to get any of your instants to actually hit their mark. So basically, if you cast Cavern Harpy, put the bounce trigger on the stack, respond by playing Baron, now if they do have a Swords to Plowshares, you can return your Cavern Harpy and replay it to bounce him again, which is going to force them to have multiple pieces of removal. All right, we've got a Duress leading out off of Urborg. Brainstorm, Ponder, Ponder. So not the most effective Duress. Does grab a Brainstorm, potentially increasing the quality of future discard spells. Brainstorm's so good at optimizing the hand and protecting cards on top of the library. Veil of Summer, kind of pushing a lot of discard out of the format, or at least decreasing the quality of it. We've got a Lotus Petal, and now a Thoughtseize. Misty Rainforest had been picked up for turn, and looks like Plague Engineer being grabbed. Perhaps signaling Jason already has a Vampire Hexmage. Actually, he's already got the Thespian stage, so he doesn't even need... really doesn't need to worry about that. I wonder if it was actually a Plague Engineer. Maybe I read it wrong. Like, it actually doesn't make much sense to take a Plague Engineer. Meddling Mage. And Jason, as soon as he has a Dark Depths, is going to be able to make a 20/20. Sylvan Scrying. Yeah, and this is actually just Depths. Like, I don't know why I thought he was on Cloud Post. We haven't seen any of them. And Lotus Petal, not played in 12 Post. Sylvan Scrying, not usually played in it. So this is going to be a dicey situation. Another Duress, just piling on the discard, eliminating most of the outs. Is an Icefang Codal that can show up to block this Merit Lage. Now, if Matt can have a turn to survive, so basically this Gilded Goose can gain some life for Matt as well. So he just really needs to land an Oko while still living. And that is going to really cut down on the value. Oh, and he's got it. All right. It's really cutting down on the value of that Merit Lage. Now Hexmage becomes important for clearing this Oko. Hexmage can remove all the counters on permanents usually reserved for Dark Depths. And that may in fact be what the Meddling Mage is naming. We'll see. as this unfolds. Oko making an elk, and now Euro pushing Matt out of one-shot range. Things looking good here for for Matt. Jason has a lot of things to answer, and that is not really what his deck is designed to do. Euro coming back down. Yeah, this is looking pretty bad. Elk's turning sideways. When Euro joins in, it's going to be plenty of damage. More Elk being added to the fray as Oko just continues to beef up his loyalty. Elvish Spirit Guide being cast. A speed bump. Ice Fang Kotal coming in end of turn. And 12 damage coming across. Jason near death. Making a 20/20 to block the Euro. But he can just come right back. And Oko's ready to handle this 20/20. Oh, and does so post-combat. Wow. And that is going to do it. So Matt, with Aluren there, not playing out like a combo deck, but as a mid-range control, showing some versatility in this blue-green shell. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.